I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.
New Holstein Public Library, this is Renee. Can I help you? Hi, how are you? Sure, I can do that. The Browse with the Librarian. All right, is there anyone in particular that you are looking for? Harlan Colvin? Oh, I like him. I read one of his books, actually. Okay. So, do you want me to read you the titles, or do you want me to look in the book for you to tell you what they're about? Okay, Backspin. Hold Tight, Just One Look, okay. That's the Suburban Mother's World to Unravel. Oh, okay, we'll get that one for you. Promise Me, Stay Close. Oh, that one. Nope, I haven't read that one, but I do like him as an author. So you just want the two? Okay. And did you want to do curbside for that? All right. And what time? Great. Sure, I can do that in a couple of minutes, and I'll get that ready for you. All right, yep, you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Another way to find some books at the library during curbside services is our online shopping. Go on our Facebook page where we've created some albums with, for kids books, we've got adult fiction, some of our new books that are available for you to check out now. So do some online shopping on our Facebook page.
Hi. This week I'm here with Becca Mosier. Hi, Becca.
Hi.
I want to point out that the reason that we're not wearing masks is we're separated by this like jail-style plexi. I know, I feel like we should have phones, right?
I would like that.
Get out of control. Actually, this might get out of control because I know Becca personally, and that's why I asked her to be here. So I'm going to have her jump in and tell us a little bit about your role in the community or organizations you'd like to highlight.
Okay. Well, I think that partly why you maybe thought to talk to me is because we've had a lot going on in our community lately, which isn't always the case. In New Holstein, it's sort of a sleepy town, and I grew up here, and then I moved away, which I don't know if we're going to talk more about the reason I'm back. But
I mean, you can answer that question right now too. It was a question that I always ask later is, how did you end up here in New Holstein? So born and raised.
Right, I was born and raised. My mom still lives in the house I grew up in on Illinois Avenue, and I was born. I just turned 40, so
woo! Putting it out there for the world.
Sure, I'd rather grow older than not, so I'm kind of embracing it at this point.
Yeah, good.
40 years ago, and she lives in that house, and I went through the school system here, the public schools, and went to Madison for college, was there for 5 years. I took the 5-year plan. Then I went to Chicago to be a teacher, and my brother lives there still, and he's 4 years older, so I had like a network of friends immediately. Love Chicago, miss Chicago. But then I met my husband when I worked in Chicago, and he lived in Nashville, so I moved to Nashville for 3 years. So I was away for a good 15 years, and then we got married and had our first daughter. And when she was 1, I would joke a lot with my husband when he would sort of be stressed out with his job or whatever. I'd say, we can always move to Wisconsin. I'd be fine with that. And for a long time, it was just a joke. And then one day he's like, okay. And I was like, really? Because I was very homesick for my mom, especially when I had my baby. And now the baby's 7, and we have another one who's 4. But we came back 6 years ago. And right back to New Holstein. I've been back for 6 years, and I didn't take a huge role in any way. But then this year we had a new mayor elected back in April, and then this thing happened over the summer, late summer, early fall, where I had heard that he proposed and he wanted to outsource the police department. And I don't actually know that I have a problem with that per se. It seemed like it was going to happen pretty fast, and I'm all about democracy, and I'm very much about not losing our collective voice. And I've been feeling pretty, like we haven't had a voice for the last few years, and it's frustrating. And I've had to focus a lot on the idea of the big W and the small W, the big world and the small world, and what world I actually can control.
Right.
So I think I found my voice in that way here. So I went to one of the council meetings, the second meeting where it was talked about, and then I wrote a letter to the editor at the paper. So I was in the paper 2 weeks in a row.
And that's where people might recognize your name or your face then.
Possibly. I usually talk about my maiden name being Zebung because it's a pretty unique name. Mm-hmm. My parents were small business owners my whole childhood. For 16 years, they owned the Zabun Morning Glory Distributing. They distributed dairy products all over. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of the other small business owners because that was their market was schools, churches, restaurants, smaller grocery stores, gas stations. So a lot of people recognize me, and they know my parents, they know my mom and dad. My dad is pretty gregarious, so he doesn't live around here anymore.
My dad is like that, and we call him the mayor of McDonald Land.
Yeah.
In his small town as well, you hit on some of these things that also drew me back to a small town, and that is that you can make an impact locally. I mean, that's what I've always loved. I also, from a small town, moved to big cities, came back and realized, like, you have this voice and this power in this place. And I have watched you be very active in our community over the last year in like multiple capacities.
Well, Kiwanis is a good one to talk about, and that was all because of you. So we became friends because of the library, which, yes, then we got to know each other, and you said, I think you should join Kiwanis, and I was like, all right. I don't know why I didn't seek that stuff out on my own. I volunteered in Chicago. I volunteered at a nursing home I called Bingo because I miss my grandparents, and I feel like I have that heart of service, but I didn't necessarily. I have little kids. You know how it is.
Well, I do. I think that the reason I talked you into being a Kiwanis, which I'm so happy about, and you can join too. Just ask either one of us for an application or any other member of the community.
I'm not only a member now; I'm the treasurer. She's about to be the president. So yeah.
Well, you know,
who runs the world? Girls.
But I saw you as like you follow through on that. You know, I mean, I think maybe not being actively seeking it, but saying, yeah, I'm down for that. Like, I'd try anything. I'm interested in this community. I want this community to be a great place. I'm raising my children here. So, I mean, I see this logical evolution of coming to some of those service things.
Yeah.
And now I would say any one of us don't volunteer for the leadership positions of it. You're just kind of like, nobody else is going to take it.
Oh, so it's a little flattering when people do bring you up for things, even though you know it's kind of a trick. Like, oh, you're so wonderful and smart.
You are excellent at numbers.
You're competent. Can you do this? And you're like, sure. I mean, it's wonderful people. And I want to see Kiwanis grow because people of our age bracket should. I thought this, I do actually remember a moment that I had that feeling. When we were doing the movies in the park, that was, I think, 2 summers ago, that was a group of, I think, pretty much parents, but moms that just put that group together to do movies in Kiwanis Park on a big screen that they fund. Did Kiwanis actually fund a part of it? I feel like
I think
a donation.
That we had a donation. I think Lions did as well. I think several organizations.
So I was a part of that. I know the moms, the women who started that, so then I kind of got involved in helping with that, and we had to come to Kiwanis to present, and I remember I just felt like, wow, a lot of these are the people that were my teachers and my parents' friends, and they're all getting older, and a lot of them, it was dwindling. There wasn't many people at the meeting. I think there's more membership, but not active people at the meetings, and I do think at that point I had a conversation with someone in the group for the movies in the park saying, you know, I feel like our generation has sort of fallen asleep at the wheel. Like, we are now, I was in my late 30s, I'm now 40, and our parents did this stuff when they were in their 40s. Right. We just didn't realize they were in their 40s.
Right.
You look back now and you're like, oh, that's the age that they were doing all of that.
Right.
I feel like I'm still in the middle of being an adult and being a kid because I have my parents in my life yet. My mother definitely makes me lunch now that I work in town, and she'll heat up my lunch or make me something, and
what was that address on Illinois? Oh, that's funny.
So I don't always feel like the grown-up, the mom in the room, because I have mine yet, and I think it's a sweet spot of life, so it's easy to fall asleep at the wheel. But I think that with everything happening with the police department and feeling like this was going to kind of go through fast, then I wrote the letter, and then I went to the next meeting, and I spoke at the public public hearing, and I read a letter from someone on the community who couldn't go, and I said my own piece, and I got a lot of great feedback. I appreciate the feedback, because you don't want to speak out of turn, you don't
absolutely right. And I do feel like that, to me, watching that process, even, I mean, I was just helping the library stream and watching that process and watching our other people who were listening and hearing the community feedback and ultimately altered course. So for me, that was such an amazing demonstration of the democratic process of, there's this this analysis phase where people are giving their feedback. And I think you helped lead a charge of speaking, bringing out people's voices. And so I guess maybe that's a message that I would send to the community in general, that in small towns, you can do that kind of stuff, It's really just about finding those ways to be active.
Right, and the ripple out effect of when I think about the big world feels overwhelming at times and out of our control.
It is, to be fair.
Right.
I mean,
we don't have a finger on the pulse to the White House. We can't just call up our Congress. Right. We can. We have to leave messages, but we don't just give them our feedback the way that we can. So you work on your small world, and then that ripples out. And if more people collectively again woke up, and peaceful protesting is the American way. I think it gets convoluted and the message gets mixed up, but the peaceful protesting and just standing up and saying, I have a voice and I'm going to use it, we have to be doing that. Right. Or we do basically forfeit our right to look back and complain. Right. And say, well, I don't like that we don't have a police department. Well, did you speak up when it was happening? Right. Did you know about it? I really wanted people to know, so that I think you were talking about that a group of 5 of us pretty much talked during that process and decided to canvass our wards. A ward map is on the website, the city's website, and we all have 2 older people per ward, and we went around and we rang doorbells old-fashioned way, and I loved it. I didn't think that was something I would love to do. So now,
it's cool because it's getting in the community. So it does, to me, it's like not about what you were doing it for, but the fact that there's these community connections happening. That I value that about this small community. That is my favorite part of New Holstein. And we are I knew we'd go wildly off topic. So I think you've answered a bunch of the questions, but speaking of favorite thing about New Holstein, thing to do, place to go, thing to eat, what is yours?
Well, I will say that I lived in Chicago for 6 years, and I still came home and ate Village Inn pizza because that's like I grew up on.
It tastes like home.
It's so good though. I mean, even Adam from Nashville, my husband, says it's just something about the way that the cheese is like on the top, and then the stuff in the middle is different. It's all very delicious, obviously, but it's also like it's good. I
like the ratios of cheese to crust to sauce to.
It's a perfected craft. So that even though I lived in different places, it's still the best pizza in my opinion.
That's awesome.
I love our parks. I love our woods that we have in our parks. Yeah. So you can just go there, and I played in them as a kid. I built forts, and it's just like solace and alone time. So when my 7-year-old got a taste of freedom this summer, we let her bike around with her friends. But but that's hard. Like
I'm not ready. Yeah, I can't even think about that.
Your umbilical cord stretches. My mom can attest that. It stretched to Madison. It stretched to Nashville. It stretched to Chicago. Right. It's back here. It's elastic, but. Yes, I let her go, but I'm always like, check back in like a half hour. She doesn't know what that means, but it's like 2 hours, and then she'll check back in. But they go to the woods, and they like building forts and playing. That I'm like, go and do that. Yes, you can. Yeah. I love outside time.
That's a favorite part of New Holstein too. I agree. Like the Tree City feel, all of how you can feel both in the middle of nowhere, but in the city at the same time. I enjoyed that. So.
Yes. And a dog park. I actually got an email about that. That, here's some
your next move.
Yeah.
This mover and shaker, if anybody would like to join her, is campaigning for a dog park.
Because it was I thought it before, but never did I ever feel the need to push for it until I rang doorbells and I talked to over 100 people, and also probably 100 that I didn't talk to. All these dogs are keeping guard. You ring the bell, and they live in the windowsill. So it's they sleep there. They're by the curtains. You're not even home, and they're home for you. Almost everybody has a dog, and I'm I don't know these dogs. Right. My dog doesn't know these dogs. Right. We need a place for these dogs to run and get to know each other. Yeah. And it's a chain link fence, and it's grass, and it's cleaning up after yourselves. It's not even a big investment, and I wouldn't even be having to ask for that much. Yeah. Besides the maintenance part of it,
We go up to, sometimes when we're in Appleton, we take Frank,
tried to jump on my mother's lap repeatedly, and he weighs as much as she does.
Yeah, more.
Definitely.
He weighs more. But we take him up to the Outagamie dog park, and what I love about that is like as a bunch of dog owners, I wouldn't be out there. I'm not like, I don't approach people and talk to them. You kind of have to force your way into my life. I'm such an introvert.
I know.
Yeah, you have to sneak in. But we go there and you just find yourself standing next to people, laughing about what your idiot dog is doing. And I would love a dog park here. I similarly think
it's such a common connection. Because here's what I noticed too. It didn't matter when I was interacting with people in my community. We did not argue. You're not going to do that with people, even if I knew if they had a different political flag on their, on their house or a sign on their lawn. It's a human connection. And dogs are the same. It's like a human connection where you have this love of a dog and they're in your family, and you don't have to then think about all the other stuff, even if it's just a glorious 10 minutes of interacting. Totally. You're not picking at each other like you do in the internet. As great as it is, it connects us to the world. It has, and that's what I said at the public hearing too. Mm-hmm. It has been a disservice to us remembering that we are all human beings, and I love those. There's a video where they have people behind an X-ray screen, like hugging and kissing and loving each other, and you don't know if they're white or black or whatever, or gay or straight, and they're just skeletons, like hugging each other, and like that's who we are. All the other stuff should fall away, and I think if we have more interacting. And COVID's made it hard.
I was going to say. Yeah, I think that's been a difficult part. We've missed that connection here, which is why we started a virtual show. It was like, how do we find our way back into some of that connectedness? And the interviews have been my favorite part. The fact that also the most difficult for me. Yeah, because of my introvert nature.
Well, I love that you're doing it, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Good. I'm so glad. I don't even. What are we at for time?
Oh my God. Past a freckle because you're not wearing a watch.
I knew this was going to happen. Oh, man. You and I could just talk the devil. I don't know what I'm going to edit. Like, this is either spanning 2 or 3 episodes, or you're just going to come back to this part where I'm explaining that we did have to cut away because she admitted to illegally filming.
Holding things hostage.
Yeah, having persistent library fines. Becca, it has been a real pleasure. It was exactly what I knew it would be.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And thanks for having me as a friend.
Yes.
I do treasure your friendship.
Oh, ditto.
And that was like
Are we going to get sappy?
Don't forget, you have to hide a shiv in my cake.
And we will hang up the phone. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.
We'll talk soon.
Yep, bye-bye.
Hi everyone. Anybody seen a wolf around here? No? Okay, well then I guess I have a minute or 2 to talk to you about some of my favorite Halloween books. This one is called Say Boo, and it's about a little ghost who doesn't know how to say boo. We also have Ghosts in the House, which is a little bit creepy, but not too creepy. We also have some fabulous Halloween music, Kids Bop Halloween. The Halloweener, which is by Dave Pilkey, the author of the Dogman comics. The Plumply Dumply Pumpkin, which is a really fun rhyming book. And It's Raining Bats and Frogs. Doesn't get any more fun than that. Any wolf yet? By the way, these are all available for checkout. I think I see the wolf. Bye.
I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. I'm going down to the library, shh, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.
I can't do it. Sorry.